Parents couldn't care less. Kids only want to play like one thing, Animal Company, Gorilla Tag, or whatever else garbage there is. Anyway, all I'm saying is that it's hard because it's going to lead to their detriment. It's going to be the end of everything if Gorilla Tag and Animal Company, and now launching tomorrow for the month of January, we're almost through it, and the games that we've had for this month: Hello Kitty Skyland, sounds like a banger. We got Katana Red Flowers. We got Dread Meridian, which I might talk about, who knows. Gorilla Gun Survivor. And tomorrow we have Wreckin' Raccoon, which is a spiritual successor to like I Am Cat. Like, it's all just bad. It's all terrible. Everything is awful. I also just really wanted to jump in and say that as I'm editing this video, I got into this so I could talk about cool hardware and like these really immersive, cool games. And now it's like, if I don't do like standard VR news, or if I don't talk about headsets and gadgets that compete in some real way, then I'm just talking about like Hello Kitty. I'm just talking about Gorilla Tag and filming myself arguing with 10-year-olds online. And at what point does the entire meta ecosystem just become an FBI honeypot? Like, how long can I talk about Hello Kitty trying to stay relevant within like the meta ecosystem and not like, like
Who else thinks changing to a Huli Chat login is hella lame? Madison, Allison, Jennifer, Stephanie, Quinn, Ingrid, Kaylee, Ava, Sarah, Janelle, Carl. Now, Carl, you said the new sign-in page made you nervous. Did anyone else feel nervous?
And Meta has a choice here. They could do one of two things. Either they can see themselves as a company bent on building and pioneering bleeding edge immersive devices that Google, Samsung, and Apple are just itching to catch up to, and giving the audience a platform by which they can access the best games, the best library there is. Nobody else has Batman VR, never mind the cancellation of the sequel. I think that's still going to happen. I think it'll be a couple of years. I don't think that's gone for good. Or they can just do what they're gonna do, which is take a step back, let VR breathe. As we're gonna comment on here, I'll jump into this. Meta CTO explains layoffs and strategy shift. VR is growing less quickly than we hoped. So, Bosworth here says, you've got a team that actually has product market fit in a huge market on mobile phones, and they're having to build everything twice. They're building it once for mobile phones and building it again for VR. There's a pretty easy way to increase their velocity. Just let them build for mobile. Ugh. So Horizon is very focused now on mobile. Not exclusively, but almost exclusively, Bosworth is quoted as saying. So right there, you know that this guy is not on your team. He's not in it for VR. I don't know, man. I mean, he says more than this. We're going to get into it. But just that statement alone, going in on mobile. It's so any YouTuber that you like, anyone you follow who comments on this game is amazing or this headset is coming and you care about this kind of stuff, I'm positive that you feel like mobile gaming, Call of Duty on Android is just, it's not for you. It's for tweens and lol cows. It's just bad. It probably makes a profit. People are paying for it. I have a couple games on Google Play that I enjoy playing, tinkering around with, but that's going back to like Cut the Rope. When did that come out? Like, that's the last game I really got into. It's probably like 2012 or something. Now, people are using like the Steam Deck if they want to play something mobile, I think.
So what we're doing now is that we have two much more focused bets coming out on the other side. The VR, we're going to let VR be what it does great. We're going to have focus a lot more on the third-party content library, the ecosystem that's developed there. And on Horizon, we're focusing a lot more on mobile. To do this, of course, it's tragic anytime your plans change and there's a human cost. We found a bunch of roles that we just didn't need anymore. So we did end up downsizing the effort on the metaverse specifically, though on net, Reality Labs isn't downsizing. We're basically taking all of those and taking the investment on wearables, which is growing so rapidly for us.
Anyway, he goes on to say, it's like any investment. You're going to look at how you do over the course of years, and you're going to reinvest in some areas and trim your losses in others. For us, we're seeing tremendous growth of our metaverse on mobile. You know, Horizon is this thing that started on VR headsets, but obviously there's much more users today on mobile phones. We've been pivoting over the last year to focus on the mobile market, and it's going really well. And so you kind of want to double down on that.
Carl.
Which the long and short of it is that he's not bailing on VR. They're still going to come out with a new headset. They're still going to, fund games to a lesser extent. But here's the problem. The reason they're finding success on mobile with the Horizon Store is because the Horizon Store feeds off of mostly creations by other people. It's free. They don't have to build the content, and whatever content needs to be built doesn't take a long time, and more kids have access to phones than they do a VR headset. When they're playing on a VR headset, it's often them borrowing it from a parent. Wait for dad to get home from work, and can I use it now? Okay. Which is to say, the reason that the mobile OS side of this has proven profitable is because it's low effort, dumb, stupid, quickly accessible mud. Just pour it in the kid's ear and watch him kind of convulse. Like, it takes nothing. And the results are terrible, and they make money off of it somehow. But if they really wanted to do this the right way, they would pursue, like, I consider Batman to be a swing and a hit. I think that they did a good job with that. I have my issues with a couple things, but after revisiting it late last year, I enjoy it. I do. But even that is not like really AAA compared to a lot of flat screen games. It's not Expedition 33. Like, it's not, you can't have that on the standalone Meta Quest. It's just a limit of the engine and what it can produce. Fine. But they're not even trying to really pursue that. Like, if they really went out of their way and, say, tried to port Lone Echo to standalone fully, completely, with some limits graphically, if that's all they did, they could have the market where they're hailed as visionaries and their storefront competes with the likes of Steam, and one game after another is 4 or 5 stars, and with the promise of no tether. They could have it all. They could have a library that's impressive. They could have the people buying the headsets, reveling in this transformation, this quality that they've just thrown at us. They'd have respect. They'd make a lot of money from it if they produced something like Pop 1, from the ground up, that was like built for 2026 and it had this structure to where it always needed new seasons. Like, there's a lot they could do with that. I know they've got that with Pop 1. They've got that with Beat Saber, but bangers, just really good, accessible titles that people enjoyed playing, and they marketed it to their older adult audience. They wouldn't have to feed these pigs at the trough. It's just the easiest, laziest route, and it's disrespectful to everyone who really, truly appreciates VR, and I hate it. But all that to say that I think the Bosworth is doing what his investors demand of him. They're listed on the stock market, and he's not in charge at the end. And I think that he's made a lot of mistakes, and I think that if they don't fix this, like, course correct completely, they're gonna have issues, especially with the incoming Steam frame. It's gonna get messy, and they've got this small window to where they can fix it, and this is not hopeful. It's not good. They haven't learned their lesson. They still think that this is a good idea when a lot of kids, half of which are probably not legally allowed to be on it, are making up the majority of their user base. They see that as a good thing, and the rest of us don't. All right, so speaking of, downsizing of Meta, other fallout has begun. The Mighty Coconut, who they make Walkabout Mini Golf, they've been trying to release 7 maps a year, just one after the other. They're working hard on it, and they're not a huge team, but they are doing layoffs. They're changing a number of things. They're going to be letting go, I think, 8 people, and that reduces their entire thing down to 27 people. On top of that, instead of 7 expected maps for 2026 and beyond, we're going to get 6. And instead of the, I think, $1 for an incoming map, they have to up it to $4.99. That's virtual reality. They're also abandoning mobile, which is fantastic. I think all of this is good. I'm sorry that people have to go. I hope they do well. I hope they get back on their feet. But a map with the kind of work that they put into this, $4.99, that's completely fair. And if they need to take more time and breathe between levels, 6 instead of 7 is fine with me. And bailing on mobile is good. It just is. I don't understand why everyone is trying to juggle these two things. Doesn't deserve it. You'll find 1,000, a million like stupid ass apps on mobile that approximate something like it, and you just need to focus on VR. Just give it everything you have and stop. Now up next, Luke Ross has these Luke Ross mods. You may have used them. The work he puts into it is impressive. Like the Cyberpunk 2077 mod. Essentially, it's a modded file you drop on your computer, take it to that installation folder, and just immediately, and with very few tweaks outside of that, you have full integrated VR with hand support most of the time and 6 degrees of freedom tracking. And for a long time, the way that this has worked is he's chosen to put it behind a paywall through Patreon. And by paying so much money a month, you can access all these games, which he's putting a lot of work into it. He deserves to get paid. I mean, they don't want to do it, he will, and I think it's great that he's getting paid for that effort. But the guys behind Cyberpunk 2077 and others, they've given him a cease and desist, issuing a strike featuring his content on YouTube, prohibiting monetization, and if he doesn't shut this down, I think there'll be further measures taken. Essentially, they're saying that he can't charge people for the use of these mods. This is their game, and he can't legally do that. And they're completely right. I feel bad about this. I think that he should be paid for the work he's doing. Fine. But I understand, as someone who is online and I juggle and like trying to skirt around YouTube's monetization and restrictions and copyright, I get it. Which is why I pay for something like Artlist and why I rely on sponsors like VR Wave. I make way for Bearded Dan from yesteryear. This episode is sponsored by VR Wave. Thank you very much to them. It's because of them that this video was possible in the first place. And while they offer a huge number of available lenses for the Meta Quest 3, the Quest 2, the 3S, I've got a pair that my wife really likes, and I think you should check them out. I really want to comment more on the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. But the Ray-Ban glasses, the lenses, they swap out by just popping them out. It's so simple, it's so easy. And as far as selecting the prescription lens that you need, or maybe you only want plano, maybe you only care about transition lenses, which they offer. The process of selecting the right lens is simple, it's straightforward, and for an affordable pair of lenses, I really hope that you'll check them out. But as affordable as these already are, you can use the code BRINGHURSTVR at checkout to save an additional 5% off. These guys were supporting my channel early last year. I'm so happy to be working with them again. And while I really want to make the focus of this, the Meta Ray-Ban replacement lenses across transitions, virtually any prescription lens, and the ease at which you can pop them out, pop them in, just blows me away at how easily they attach to the Meta Quest 3, the 2. If you're using this for VR, you want something high quality that's streamlined, that pops out, pops in easily, and that you know the prescription is going to land perfect the first time you order. Don't wear VR headsets with glasses. Don't wear detachable, thin shades on top of your Meta Ray-Bans. Do it the right way. Visit their website right now, supports my channel, and you get something amazing and at an affordable cost. Thank you very much to VR Wave for sponsoring this episode. Check them out in the description below or the pinned comment. And again, Bringhurst VR at checkout for 5% off. Back to it. Wasn't that guy handsome? No, I don't have any of that. But back to it. Now, they went out of their way to tell him that, look, we respect what you're doing. This is cool, but you can't charge people. You can't say that they have to pay this much money to get access to a game that we made. Fine, you modded it, but we made that game. And they said as much that, you know, ask for donations. That's fine. You just can't put it behind a wall. And I have the opinion that if he asked for donations politely, he'd probably make bank. I think he was making something like $10,000 to $20,000 a month off of that Patreon account, which is a lot of money. And if he requested donations instead, I'm sure that profit would be cut in half. But still, to get like $5,000 to $10,000 a month through donations, which I'd be happy to promote, which a lot of people would be happy to pay. They respect this guy and his hard work. Him refusing to do that and instead taking the whole thing down out of some kind of finger to the system, I think it's a bad move. I do. I don't know the guy. I've never met him. And I really like his mods. I think that they're incredible. But I wish he'd gone a different way with it. We'll see what happens. So what do we have? Terrible decisions by Meta. We have studios being shut down, feverishly disputed claims by developers and modders, and a headset bent on building up and profiting almost solely on terrible brain rot games. And I want to leave you with this. A lot of people are turning to and looking forward to the Steam frame with this thing in their head that says that it's going to solve all their problems. A lot of the people saying this don't have computers. And I'm not talking about you. A lot of people are looking forward to it for reasons beyond this, but I think that the Steam frame and the Steam machine in conjunction with each other, it's going to make for a stirred up new era to where it might not be the answer to everything. I'm sure I'll grab it just to say I did so I can review it, and maybe it'll blow my mind. Maybe it's going to be amazing. I expect it's going to be good. I mean, I like everything that Valve does hardware-wise, and I already have a pretty decent library on Steam, so I'm set up for it. But people looking to Valve for a replacement to Meta because, not that they only dabble in brain rot, Gorilla Tag-esque games, not only because they see Meta as this giant eye in the sky that wants to steal all their information, not because they think that Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard person. Like, the numbers are so innumerable, hell-bent on getting out, bailing, and just give me anything. And they see the Steam frame as a standalone device. It is. But actually, even as I said that, you will be able to install standalone games on the Steam frame. So it might be the answer that these people are looking for. I guess you could. It's not just Steam VR via the Steam machine. But the point is that I think that the Steam frame is going to drop. And I think everyone's holding their breath. Everyone's coming out with something. The Quest has the 4, some prototype, and Samsung has their XR. But everyone's holding their breath and waiting to see what the Steam frame really does, what kind of money it's really going to produce. And the second that hits the market, I think that everyone's going to go into high gear, and we're going to have an influx of cool games. Everyone's going to get their crap together. Zuckerberg has already said that the next headset they build is going to have eye tracking. And while I expect it's going to be for this terrible reasons, for VR chat so you can have a foursome with a bunch of furries and look them in the eye when you're like getting excited. I think like that's what's on his mind. But he's also gone out of his way to say that yes, Apple did it right in terms of the look and click and maneuvering icons and menus by looking at it and just tapping your finger. So I think that both reasons are on Meta's mind, and one of them is good and one of them is destructive. That's all I got. Thank you again to VR Wave for sponsoring this episode. I'm glad that Bearded Dan could take a second to talk you through that. Thank you to my members, and look at this, we're growing all the time, or shrinking in this case, and I could really use your support. So if you feel like it, you could join, and in exchange you'd get early access to all this content, and on occasion we do marble runs. I haven't done it in a month because I had that cruise and everything. I'm sorry, but we're going to get it done. But it's just a way of giving back and saying thank you now and again. If you want to see what the Steam frame's like day one, I'm going to try to get my hands on it. So subscribe for that. Hit that notification bell. I appreciate you. And Godspeed.